What's up guys, Biologist here, doing another gameplay for Transformers Fall of Cybertron. This time I'm doing the post-patch scout, so this is how I've adapted since the patch. I made another video explaining my thoughts on the patch. It wasn't really more of a game, it wasn't much of a gameplay, it was more or less me telling you what I thought about the patch. So this time I'm going to go over how I've adapted since then. I was a big sniper rifle user prior to the patch. I used it on every single loadout for the scout, just about. No, actually, no, I did. I used it on every single one because I got that good with it. But since then, I kind of reevaluated the weapons, and High Moon Studios, I've had conversations. I feel like they've kind of pushed the scout into more of a medium close range instead of from like all ranges. Because I felt like when they had the sniper rifle, they were an all range class, and then they removed that, and then they buffed the shotgun, which was probably the worst weapon of the scouts. And since they buffed it, to me it kind of feels like they're kind of pushing the scout to be more of a get up close, hit and run, then get out of there kind of class. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's just what happened. So that's life. So normally before I would take cloaking or stealth, whatever you want to call it. But since the patch, they nerfed that too. So I've kind of attempted to use the EMP. And the EMP is so awesome and great. Actually, it's kind of awesome in all scenarios, 1v1 or teams, as long as you can land the EMP. Just like blinds everyone, and it makes them so hard to hit you. Like, yes, they can still hit you, but it's a lot more difficult. One good thing that I've had massive success, not mad, but wonderful success with is using the EMP with the speed redirector, the perk that increases your movement speed after a successful land of an EMP grenade. And man, like I'm about to do right here, I'm gonna toss an EMP, and man, just look how far I dashed. I was already mid dash when I activated it, so you can see how much of a difference that ability makes. It's quite substantial. The intercooler, it's a nice one, so you can spam more. But I feel like if you were just to pick up the intercooler, you don't need that upgrade. So that's just my thoughts with that one. And the one that like has it explode quicker, I don't think that's worthwhile. I'm more interested in moving faster. Therefore, you're even harder to hit. Because as a scout, you have to be agile. You can't just like run in there just firing your guns, and you're just gonna get stomped. You're just gonna get stomped on if you do that. So you have to keep moving, keep jumping, keep dashing, and doing all of that kind of stuff. So now I'm using the Path Blaster with the Magma Damper. As you can see right here, I'm using some distance on it. It's it's a pretty good distance gun. It's not that accurate, that long range, because it's not like a really close sight on the gun. Like it's kind of like a small little hitbox, or I guess you could say, or accuracy, I would say there. So you can miss a lot, and I've missed tons of shots. I'm not gonna say that I haven't. I know Eris is extremely accurate with this gun. My god, that guy's freaking amazing. Eris, if you hear this, dude, massive props to you. But, so using the Magma Damper, I feel you can use it up close or far away on the Path Blaster. So like, you can get up close and you can just hold the trigger and spam it on them, like I'm doing right here, and just, it's kind of like more like a mini shotgun, I guess. And since you're that close, the accuracy of the gun won't really matter as long as you're looking at them and should still hit them. And it does a fair amount of damage. I don't know the exact amount of shots it takes to kill a class, but you should find some success with that. And then I'm using the SMG with the Cyberoctors perk. I now carry that in every single class. To me, it's just a fantastic weapon. Does tons of damage and stuff. So my advice to this class is I would say try the EMP a little bit more, especially on maps where it's close quarters like this, like on Abandoned, where there's a bunch of rooms where if you land a grenade, it'd be easy to hit a lot of people. In an open map, it's not necessarily as easy to hit everyone. It can still be done. Just I feel like it's easier on a small enclosed map. And keep jumping, keep shooting. As long as you have the EMP, hit them with the EMP with the speed director, you're gonna be really hard to hit as long as you keep dashing. Now fighting each class, fighting a scout on scout, it can be a pain, and it really depends, in my opinion, what weapon you start off with. So like if you're using the SMG and they're using the Path Blaster and they're missing their shots and you're using the SMG and you're landing them, I feel like it'll go your way. If you're both using EMP, I feel like whoever lands the more important EMP, so at the right timing there. But then you're looking at the next class, Scientist. These ones can be a pain, I would say, but I feel like the SMG helps you out. I feel like the SMG does more damage than the Scientist Gatling gun, so I would take that to your advantage. But remember, keep moving, don't just stand still and shoot at them. Try to keep dashing, keep your cursor on them so you get the most out of it. Against the Destroyers, you have to sneak up on these guys or get some advantage. You can't just run at them, especially with their barrier and their explosives. They're just going to blow you up. So you have to be smart when you pick your fights with them. And against Titans, like, you have to be smart when you pick your fight against Titans. One thing I try to do is when I'm fighting them, I try dashing over their heads because they can't necessarily go all the way up and they have to turn around. So that's one thing you can try. But don't, if you're trying to fight a Titan, don't just dash forward or back because you're still going to be in the same line of fire for them. So make sure you try to go left and right, respectively, when you're fighting them. But besides that, I'm sure I missed a few things in this video, so leave me a comment and I'll get to that. Besides that, take care, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned something.